reaping the positive results of our challenges. We changed one individual's life. Han-So Lee, in his adolescence, resented his parents for not being able to live the life he wanted, and the world labeled him as rebellious and problematic. His life, which was mired in friends, cigarettes, and games, was changed through the World Camp. During the 2-week period, he learned how to communicate with people. He is currently working as the IYF branch manager of Haiti, healing the minds of the Haitians living in despair and giving hope and courage to Haiti youth who are wandering without dreams like himself in the past. The World Camp is held in Korea and in countries across the globe every year, and has now grown to become the largest hub for youth interaction in the world. Through special programs such as the Mind Lecture, which teaches the world of the heart, various cultural performances, and academies that cover diverse fields, we are bringing about true change in the lives of the youth. The World Cultural Camp that is held annually in Korea has shown everywhere, GBS.
Hello viewer, welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host Anne Murimi, and it's such a pleasure to have you with us. I'm glad that you're going to be joining our conversation this day. And remember that you are on GBS TV Africa. We are on YouTube and on Facebook, and we also have an SMS line. The number is 21144. With me in studio, I've got two guests, and before we start the show and I introduce the topic, I want to give them a chance to introduce themselves. I have a gentleman and a lady, so ladies first. Yeah. Karibu.
Hello, my name is Ruth Beryl. I'm a student at Kenyatta University and a peer counselor.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. And now the gentleman, Karibu Sana.
Hello, my name is Oyamo Richard. I'm a second year student. I'm a peer counselor, a writer and a poet. I'm glad to be part of the show.
Wow, already I'm feeling so intimidated. I mean, you're so young and you're already a writer, yes. You're a poet, yes. And also you're doing something for the community. You're doing peer counseling. Yes. That is very good. I'm happy when the youth, when people give back, and especially my youth work give back, it's even more beneficial, mm-hmm. Because you're able to relate with the young people. So you're both peer counselors, and today we're going to be talking about reproductive health. Now, reproductive health is a very serious topic. It sounds very scientific, but basically, in my understanding, we're talking about the reproduction of human beings, that is giving birth, and the health that surrounds that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How would you define it in your own simple terms, Richie?
Reproductive health. Reproductive health entails anything that is used or is purposefully for reproduction.
Okay.
Yeah, that's giving birth. Uh-huh. So anything that entails or surrounds the process of giving birth, that's reproduction and reproductive health.
Sawa. Haya. Okay. What about you, Beryl? Then make sure you don't use the same terms as his in your way.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, let me base it from what I study, because I'm a public health student.
Uh-huh.
And from the definition of public health, reproductive health is social well-being, mental, physical, without any disease affecting an individual.
Okay.
But then now we are basing it on reproductive health. So that means any part of the body, any part of the reproductive system is automatically healthy when there is no, like something like a hitch in mental health, mm-hmm. physical health, social well-being, because reproductive health is just about the three basic parts of defining what health is according to WHO.
Ah, nice. Yeah. Wow. You're going very, very, very scientific. And you know what? The minute you talk about reproductive health and babies, one thing that comes into the picture already is sexual health.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, other than Mary, who gave birth to Jesus, yes. The rest of us, there's only one way to give. You've got to have a man and a woman coming together, and there's got to be sex involved. And I want us to start our conversation from there. Because puberty now is starting very early. Mm-hmm. I don't know, for us when we were young, we used to find that young people, puberty is starting like at the age of 13 and above. But are you finding that puberty, especially for the ladies, we'll come to the men, are you finding that our girls are becoming, they are approaching puberty at an early age?
Yeah, as early as 9.
Yeah. So what is the reason for that, by the way?
Let me say our lifestyle, mm-hmm. maybe the kinds of food that we take nowadays.
Yeah.
Let me say the way the body is maturing at an early age.
Yes.
Maybe due to hormones.
Yes, that's true.
How bodies react, because as ladies we mature differently, totally differently.
And we mature earlier than
Earlier than our
in all ways. do you doubt?
I actually object.
You object. Maybe not in terms of strength, I don't know.
No, actually, scientists say that girls mature earlier or faster than men, but when they get to around 25, they cease maturing.
They slow down. Yes. Really? They stop maturing? No, they start going downhill. It goes downhill.
They don't go downhill, but they remain at that level, and men come and surpass them.
Oh. I think that's a good way out.
Okay.
You know, it's very encouraging and hopeful. But you're right. We are finding that especially young girls, they're getting to puberty earlier, at the age of 9. What about for boys? Is that this also affecting boys, or for boys, everything starts at 25 in terms of maturity?
Not 25, but probably at 13, boys, yeah. But I think the difference comes when is seen physically in terms of broadening of chest, and maybe voice, and they can do that. Like, you don't need to share out and tell people that I'm breaking my voice.
It's just obvious.
Yeah, it's just obvious. But with the girls, when periods comes, they need to talk to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? Voice breaking. I've not seen a 9-year-old who has a voice that is breaking. So I think that puberty for boys is still from 13. Even if you talked about 13, and like for girls, where it's come down to 9, you know? And that means that even for girls, we have to be very careful, because now if you're a parent, you know, 9 is very early, to be very honest. But you need to start talking to girls from the age of 9. Okay, so that's good to know. And it's because of food, like what you're saying. The chicken we eat has a lot of hormones.
Too much junk that are just altering the hormonal balance in our bodies. Yeah.
So at what point, okay, so basically reproductive health starts from a very young age, then, 9. So now that you're a peer counselor, when you meet the youth, how are you finding that they're willing to talk about their reproductive health, or are people still shy about it? I find the youth of nowadays are very open.
Very open.
Yeah. At least to themselves, not maybe to their parents. Yeah.
Maybe with friends, they're open.
Yes.
But you get that another percentage of the youth, they're not ready to open up to parents. But with friends, like a peer counselor is a friend to everyone.
Okay.
There's that, let me say, they're more comfortable talking to one person who is of the same age. The way I can relate with you easily as compared to another person. So when we go out to talk to our fellow youths, our fellow students, most of them will eventually open up.
Okay.
They'll open up and tell you, I'm going through this, I'm having issues with my reproductive health, I'm having issues with my, anything pertaining with reproductive health, sex, and anything. Most of them, they are going to open up.
Okay.
And as compared to talking to a parent, because we've grown up in a generation whereby we are afraid to be judged.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to open up to a parent or a guardian, but then sasa umeanza
umeanza tabia na nilikwambia vile unaenda unajua pale utapata mtoto,
we are afraid of that. So when I get a friend who is ready to listen to me without judgment, eventually I'll open up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Richie, for girls, I remember from the time when I was growing up, it was like, if you're a girl, your parents' number one fear is that you're going to become pregnant. I mean, it's like, you see, even what you said, with the end mind that you're going to become pregnant. What is it that boys are told around that topic of sex at that young age? Because this story is in Ambiwakwa, the ladies a lot, the girls. What message is given to the boys with the aim of also delaying the sexual debut? Because even if your puberty is starting at 9 and 13, the age of sexual consent in Kenya is 18. Yeah. So we do want people to wait until they are 18 and above, and even older. But we are finding that, of course, kuna a lot of teenage pregnancy. What message do you tell boys and young men around that topic?
With men, we are not afraid of the pregnancy in the sense that we're going to carry it.
Well, good for you.
But what holds us back is that when it hits you that your child is going to grow without your presence as a father, and even if you'll be present, you won't be providing because you don't have the means. And that's what holds us back as boys. Like, I don't want to engage in this thing because I don't want my child to grow without a father. Yeah, so that's the message you're given, and the one of diseases, contracting STIs.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think the two things is what hold us back.
Okay. And of course, when it comes to contracting STIs, you've already actually brought us to the next part of the conversation, where the minute you're able to be of age, the good thing is that for you, you're not really dealing with teenagers and with children, even if puberty is starting early, because you're both at KU and your peer counselors there. Now, when you're in KU, already you're over 18, you're a young person. And you know, youth in Kenya is defined up to 35, I think.
Yeah.
Although we are campaigning. We still feel young at heart. But anyway, so you know, when you're on campus, number one, you have a lot of freedom. Your parents hawako. I mean, here you are, umetoka labda from different counties, you've come to Nairobi and you're so excited. So how does it play out? What do you see in that society that is concerning to you, that you want to reach out to your peers for?
Let me say, the current issues which we are facing in the university currently, like they're on a rampant. We have drug use, abuse. We have early pregnancies, unplanned pregnancies. We have cases of abortions, because that is one thing that is not avoidable in the campus settings. We have issues of, actually, out of every issue that we go through in the university, there's always a consequence.
That's true.
Like most campus students, you find they are committing suicides. Depression, anxiety, stress. And when you really dig deep into what's bringing all this, we all come back to the same thing: issues of relationships, abortions, pregnancies. And like a girl, to be honest, I will not be that ready to tell my parents that I'm already pregnant.
It's true. Especially when you've gone to campus, they're looking up to you, they're so proud of you, you know.
Yes, exactly. And then because I'm not ready to open up, stress strikes in. Because I'm not ready to open up, before I realize depression. But now, as peer counselors, we are there for such people. Are you looking for someone to talk to? Are you looking for someone to share with? That is how, as peer counselors, we come in.
I like that. You know, you've broken it down so well that if you chunguza, those things that cause all the stress and depression and suicide, eventually it's relationships. Pregnancies, abortion. So it's that reproductive health. It's a very key component that people need to address. And you know what? When it comes to, for example, things like suicide, you tend to find it's men, young men, who do it more than young ladies. You know, somehow women, I think, we're able to talk about these things more. Is that the same? Do you find that also for men, the things that are causing them to become suicidal are the same things to do with relationships, to do with maybe rejection? Maybe you want a girlfriend and she has said no, you can't deal with it, meaning she's having an affair, you know.
Yeah, actually that's true. Most of the things are relationship based and reproductive health based. And to some point it's financial.
Also financial.
But to the reproductive health, at times maybe you feel that you have invested in a girl and she dumps you.
Here it comes again. Investing with a point of you want returns. Which returns? Cash or?
No, it depends. Maybe I was planning that we'll get married. And so I was investing my emotions and money and time, and then you're dumped and it breaks you. At times for a guy to share with other guys, and maybe at times you have also shared with brothers, and so you're like, sure, I'll marry her, and then she dumps you. That sends you into depression. Yeah. Others, it's contracting STIs. People get depressed.
Yeah, and of course, even things like HIV. And you know what? We are sort of laughing about this, but it's serious. You know, we need to realize that for young men, the issue of handling rejection. But you know what? Even the men who are older now, I think rejection is a part of life. You know, what can we do to the boy child? Really, when a woman says no, you know, it's not the end of the world. There are many. In fact, they used to say a long time, the beautiful ones are yet to be born, which means yours is coming. Sindio? We need to have our men being stronger. What do you think? Yeah.
Ukiachwa, just move on.
Ukiachwa to just move on. Hata kama ulikuwa umeinvest, usikasirike sana, pesa itarudi. What do you think?
I think it narrows down to individually, how you are oriented to issues of relationships, and how you are brought up to deal with rejection. Like I personally, I usually say whatever I'm investing in a girl is something that even if I'm dumped, I won't regret. Like, it won't stress me.
Because you still had your good times. It was not all bad. Even if the relationship didn't end well, at least there were some good days. So then you can take that as a positive, and then you move on. Okay, so that's very good to know, because that means that these reproductive health issues, they are very important. And one thing that I thought would come up with you as we were talking, but sijaisikia, is contraception. Because you see, if you're at university, you have already exceeded the age of sexual consent. You've talked about STIs, you've talked about pregnancies, abortions, and planned pregnancy. Where is the contraception coming in this discussion? Are our youth aware about condoms, how to use them? Are they aware about, you know, the pills and everything? What would you say about that? Because you know, when you've been to uni, we're talking about people who, this is like creme de la creme of society. They're educated, they know these things. Is the education, are they using these things or not?
Should I say there's a percentage that is using it, and a percentage which is not even aware of what is happening?
Okay.
But a good percentage of campus students, they know. And the common contraceptive that we all campaign for, use of condoms.
Does that work? Has that worked? And let me talk to the men here. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Because we do have female condoms, but those ones, they don't seem to even be used a lot. Although they're there, are men using condoms?
Yeah, they're using. Like in KU, condoms are all over, like in the receptions, the housekeepers, and they're given for free, so you just pick and you're free to use. But then again, it narrows down to individually. Like there are those who don't like using, and there are those whom they have agreed with the girlfriend not to use, maybe. So it narrows down to individual.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm told some say they are using, but then they don't use.
You have the correct answer. When you ask, you say yes, you're using, but to be honest, you're not using.
Yes.
But at least one thing you've talked about is availability. Availability of condoms is there.
It's
so that problem has been solved. So now it's just an issue of behavior change, you know, whether people are using them and using them correctly. And I think there's been lots of companies that are coming around giving this education. So I think people are actually aware. So, but we are still finding the same issues still cropping up, you know. And sometimes you even find that it's the ladies who go to get the condoms for the men, like they're the ones who use them.
They carry it in their bags. For just in case. And then when we see like right now we have admitted the freshers in School of Engineering and Sciences and Architecture. So most of them, they may not be aware of what is happening. They may not be aware of what even contraceptives are. We can never take that for like for granted.
Yes.
So for us, this was the right time for us to start our campaigns, use of condoms to the freshers, because second years and third years and fourth years, they're aware of this.
They're aware, and they may be wanting to take advantage of this one.
Of this young
before
ones.
they get to know.
Yeah. So for us, immediately they are admitted, we start our work. Going to the hostels, telling them, creating the awareness, making sure that in case of anything you feel threatened, or because some of them, they are being threatened, if you don't come to my room, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I know.
Harassment.
Yeah,
sexual
that's harassment.
Yes.
Before you realize they're stigmatized.
Yes.
So for us as peer counselors, now we target them.
Okay.
We give them the chance to talk to us, grant them the opportunity to know that use of condoms is the safest method so far. Because
not abstinence. Some people don't. And you guess what? We need to take a break. Viewer, please keep it here. We'll be right back after the break. Thank you.
If you don't go after what you want, there's going to be hurt, there's going to be disappointment, there's going to be regret, there's going to be let down.
I love people. People will always have a view. They will always have an opinion. Whether you like it or not.
It's always there.
People will put you in a shame bar. You have to love yourself first. I'm not that person.
It should come from deep conviction, and I'm talking about conviction. I'm not talking about...
Then that should pose a big problem.
A man won't handle that. They will just run. Families break. Marriages don't exist anymore.
There's so many people out there pretending like they don't have the problem. Pretending like their relationship is not on the rock. That's nonsense.
Get lost.
No. I think...
We make up over 3/4 of Africa, the under 35s.
We are the 77%.
They want to shape the continent's future. Be part of it and join African youngsters as they share their stories, their dreams, and their challenges. The 77%, DW's platform for Africa's majority.
님 운명하셨습니다.
좀 넘쳐.
저 이 집 식구예요.
인생 뭐 있습니까? 일십.
느껴져요, 선생님의 심장.
소방님! 새 1일 드라마 기막힌 유산. 내가 정말 죽었단 말이야? 어?
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about reproductive health amongst the youth, and we have 3 peer counselors in studio, and I just want to give one an opportunity to introduce himself. He's just joined us. Jack, please introduce yourself to the viewers.
So my name is Jack Ochieng. I'm the Inreach and Outreach Coordinator of the KU Peer Counseling Project. We are thankful for this opportunity, at least to share our views on reproductive health. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining. So before we took the break, we're basically talking about condoms, and you know, Richie was basically telling me that when it comes to, because a while back there used to be ABCs: abstinence, being faithful, and then condoms. But here, I've not even heard us talking about abstinence and being faithful. And I wanted you to give me your opinion about that. You're talking about the way times have changed.
Yeah, times have changed, and the gospel of abstinence is not that relevant as it was.
The gospel of abstinence.
It's not that relevant as it was. So we needed to be relevant, and KU, what they did is, like, using us is because we know what's on the ground, like a common ground with the other peers, and we know abstinence isn't working.
It's not working. We need to accept that.
Yeah.
Jack, do you accept that? You know, maybe you've been in this industry long. Are there some
that people are abstaining?
You can't,
yeah. People just want to at least to explore, maybe to have fun.
Okay.
So the best advice we usually give people is use of contraception.
Okay.
Like they use condoms, pills, and any other contraceptive.
Okay, okay. What about being faithful, Beryl? Do girls still want the men to be faithful, or now we are open to? Because nowadays, even, I mean, faithfulness, it applies to both.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very true. If I am faithful, I also expect the same.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a two-way thing, two-way traffic.
Two-way traffic.
I remain faithful, you have to be faithful. You don't be faithful, of course, I'll snap out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of girl that we're dealing with nowadays. I don't know. Men, I hope, have you people like, have you changed, and are you ready to deal with such a kind of a lady? Because I feel like men are still patriarchal. Even in reproductive health, they want to dictate to the ladies that they are the ones who should use their pills. They don't want to use their condoms. And what about vasectomy? Is it an option? That's not for young men.
That's not for young men.
It's reversible, Beryl. Yeah. It's reversible.
It is.
I think no.
Oh my God!
With vasectomy, it's like forever.
No, it's reversible, right, Jack?
No. We don't accept that.
Okay, so according to Beryl and I, it's reversible. Yeah. According to Jack and Richie, it's not reversible. Yeah. So it's a no-go zone. You see?
It's a no-go zone.
That's a very skewed.
Unless the lady has problems with the other contraceptives, the female ones. Unless she has issues, maybe they're affecting her. Then I'll go for vasectomy. But that's after we
You won't leave the lady and get another lady. No, you'll stay with that lady but go for vasectomy.
Yeah. Okay. But that's after we have looked at all options. Like that's the last option.
The last option.
Yes. If it is an option at all, And honestly, I find that conversation about vasectomy anyway, it will be with a bit of the older. I don't think anybody in campus can even imagine. I don't even think it's an option, to be honest. But I'm happy to hear that Richie is saying it is possible if at least there's a, if there are conditions, which is good because at least there's a way it can come in. Yeah. So anyway, that's interesting. So you see, okay, I feel like we're still, before we took a break, you're also talking about coercion and sexual harassment, like especially for the first years. How do you deal with that?
We've made it possible that they can speak up.
Okay.
We don't want any fresher to be in school and they're going through such a thing.
Yeah.
Yet we are there as peer counselors, the management is there, the health facility is there. Yeah. We want to make them feel no matter how the problem will be tough to them, no matter who is harassing them, they can always speak up at any time.
Yes.
At any time. Okay. Because for us peer counselors, that is why we are there for them. Yeah. We live with them, we interact with them, we socialize with them. So for them, they should feel I'm in the right place, and no matter who does anything to me that is against the concept of the girl, they should be ready to speak up. Okay. We don't allow anything like harassment to go on in our campus, and there is no issue like that being addressed. We can't allow it.
You can't allow it.
We can't.
And now we have to always look at both sexes. Are the young men also being harassed by women nowadays, or is it just the men harassing them?
Okay, nowadays the most cases we usually tackle is that ladies are mostly being harassed by men.
By men.
Yeah.
That's still more frequent.
More frequent.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So,
but I think on the same, if I can add up, is we have a tendency of concentrating on the girl child with the harassment.
Yes.
And yet, the perpetrators of the harassment are boy child.
Yes.
What if we also start talking to the boy child and telling them not to harass the girl? Because we are actually not preventing, we are just healing.
Yeah,
like it has already happened.
After it has happened.
It has happened.
Being proactive.
Yeah.
Actually, we tend to look at the victims more. You know, the people who have received it, as opposed to being proactive and encouraging the young men not to harass.
Not to do it, yeah.
And you know, and what is the point of harassing? It's like, it's if I want you, I must have you. I can't. It's like, it's not. You know, I like what you said. It's a two-way relationship.
Yeah.
If you want to have a relationship with a girl, it's up to you to approach her, befriend her. Yeah, there's a process. Yeah, you just don't jump to forget about the process. And most times, if you follow the process, it will happen. And if it doesn't, then you just move on. Like you said, you move on. You don't have to become depressed. You know. What is the percentage of boys and girls at the campus? Is it 50-50?
Yeah. In KU, you find that ladies are more than men.
That is even an advantage.
Yeah.
It's an advantage. You should not hear in KU any cases of suicide because of relationship. Of course, I know you're not attracted to everybody, but if it doesn't work with one, chances are kuna mwingine, you know. So, and if there are more ladies, good for the men, right? So we really need to give that mindset to the boy child and to the young men, so that they can be more open to, you know, it's happening. So Richie, you've been a peer counselor for almost 4 years now.
4 years, yeah.
What success story have you had that comes to mind? Maybe a situation that the peer counseling, is it a team or a department?
It's a project.
It's a project that the peer counseling project has handled successfully that you can think of.
So the main reason why this project was formed by KU is actually it was formed in 1988.
Okay.
So it was formed because the rate of pregnancy was very high. You find that ladies, if they were like they were 20,000, you'll find that maybe 12,000 of them were pregnant.
Very high number.
Yeah. So KU came up with this project at least to facilitate in preventing the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So up to then, cases of pregnancy have really dropped.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a success.
That's a success, yeah. And of course, that's due to many reasons. And at least that means that in a way, those are the accomplishments. Yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, you know, Richie was telling us that the boy child does not have to worry about the issue of pregnancy. Yeah. But for a girl, it really affects your life. Yeah. And it delays all the milestones and achievements that you are wanting to achieve. So the fact that that has come down and girls can now concentrate on their academics. Studies, that is pretty good. So, and you see, pregnancy involves both men and women. So it means that if you've made progress in that, there's something that positive that is happening. Yeah. And what about the challenges, Richie? What else are the things that have now come up? Because as pregnancy has gone down, maybe other things have come up that we need to tackle.
Yeah, I think what has come up now is drug abuse. That's what's rampant. And it becomes difficult to deal with drug abuse because most of them hide when using them. Yeah. And they can't, it's difficult for them to share because it's illegal using drugs in the campus. So for them to trust you that you won't snitch, it becomes difficult. Yeah. And
so that is on the increase.
Yeah, it's on the increase.
And you know what? I think, Beryl, there's a link. Is there a link between drug abuse and reproductive health?
Yeah, there is. Because this drug abuse, too much use of these drugs, of course it's bringing a consequence to our reproductive health. Yeah. You'll get, maybe the girls who are engaging in this use of drugs, they'll have problems, maybe long-term problems, fertility issues.
Yeah, number one.
Childbirth.
Yeah, when you now want to have a child, then you can't. Yeah.
Maybe they may not be able to hold the baby till term.
Yeah.
There may be
those complications.
Yeah, maybe there may be an abortion which wasn't intended.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
you see?
true.
Like a miscarry. It happens.
It happens.
And then even for the young men, that use of drugs, of course, it will also affect them in one way or another.
Yes.
We can say the fertility will be on the girl issue, the fertility issue will be on the girl, but even to our boys, there will be also a consequence.
Exactly.
Because too much of it, there will be a long-term consequence.
Exactly. It will have, it does interfere with sperm production, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the long run, it becomes a difficult thing to now deal with. And another thing that I wanted us to also talk about, Richie, you see, like when you're high, you might remember all this awareness of what you should do and not do, but the minute you become high, you forget.
Yeah.
And then now maybe even if you are somebody who was careful, now everything goes to the dogs, and you find that here you are, maybe you've contracted a sexually transmitted disease, you've contracted HIV, or a pregnancy has resulted because at the moment that you were using a drug, you forgot to either use a condom.
Yeah.
Or you forgot to take your pills or whatever it is that you're doing, right? Or you made the wrong decision of meeting the right person and just letting it go on, whereas it may not have.
Yeah.
So I can see that drug abuse is actually quite closely related to reproductive health, and it's something that people need to be aware of. Yeah. What are anyway, the drugs that are being abused, you've said some of them are illegal.
Actually, all drugs are illegal in KU to be abused. That's within the campus.
Even alcohol, yeah?
Alcohol is...
People don't think alcohol is a drug?
No. we usually say drug abuse and alcohol.
Drug and alcohol.
Yeah, so alcohol isn't a drug.
Okay.
Yeah, but...
Because I was wondering, even does that include alcohol? Okay, alcohol is... But
alcohol is allowed. We actually have the annex and
the club.
They have the alcohol. People can drink as they want, but also it affects.
How does it affect? Because it's not a drug. How does it affect reproductive health?
It affects, like one after being drunk, like he's drunk or the lady she's drunk, he can't or she can't think in the right way. And we have seen cases of girls being raped after she's drunk. And that's out of the abuse of or the drinking of alcohol, so it affects.
It affects, Okay. All right. So that means that as peer counselors, then, as much as you're dealing with reproductive health, you also have to bring in drug and alcohol abuse. It's true, it's actually drug and alcohol abuse. People are really free with alcohol, but it's a very dangerous drug also. So now we need to do our parting shots because time is up. So I want you to look at your cameras, and then you can each give a parting shot. And as you're doing the parting shot, also tell us about how to get in touch with you, because I know that. Like Jack, you're in charge of outreach and inreach, which means that you can go beyond KU. If somebody wants you to come and speak to their youth, you're available. How do people get in touch with you?
So in our peer counseling project, we have our Twitter handle, but our Twitter handle has been suspended currently. But in Facebook, we are at Kenyatta University Peer Counseling. And that's our Facebook, and then we have some groups in WhatsApp. You can actually join. Yeah, that's how you can meet us.
Okay. Your Twitter is disabled.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I don't know. One of us, I don't actually misbehaved.
That's another story for another day. Okay, Beryl, please give a parting shot.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I would like to say. We can make it in reproductive health. We can make our reproductive health better than the way it is currently. So I'll reach out to our youths, I'll reach out to all our friends that in case of any issue concerning your reproductive health, speak up, we are here to help. My name is Beryl. You can find me on Twitter at RuthBeryl, Facebook RuthBeryl. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth Beryl. And last but not least, Please give a parting shot.
Thank you. As she said, my name is Oyamo Richard. I'm a poet, and on stage I use Richie Poet. I'm a peer counselor, and I usually like sharing or talking to youth using the spoken word and poetry. That's what I do majorly. And my parting shot, I'll echo a quote I read somewhere. This is to the young men who are committing suicides. The quote says, I'll rather hear your story than come to your funeral. Thank you.
Wow, that is so good. I like that. I'd rather hear your story. You know, it's good to deal with these things while there is still a chance to.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, we should not feel overwhelmed. At whichever point you're in, whether you're facing a challenge or even if you're in a situation that is complicated, you can always reach out from that point and the end result will be different. And you know what? I'm so grateful that our youth have got peer counselors who are ready to assist, you know. Like we said earlier, they may not be able to talk to their parents and to ask the older people, but with you, they have a way. They have a way of feeling accepted, not judged. And you know what? Even as the older people out there, let me not say older, the less young, we've been there. So we've passed through these stages. So we can be able to also reach out to the young people and be able to raise them up so that rather than coming to your funeral, we are able to hear your story and relate to your story, and even your story could help somebody else who's in that situation. So there we have it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Guests, thank you so much, and keep up the good work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.